So I am back as promised with my Q&A video. If you watched my last video, you know I said I was going to do a Q&A video, so I put out the call and I asked for questions. I got quite a few questions on Instagram, Facebook, as well as a few here on YouTube. So I am just going to get right into it. So the first question is from the Empress Sheba. She says, I love your name. What does it mean? Why, thank you. Thank you so much, Empress Sheba. So my name is Vashti. It is spelled V-A-S-H-T-I. It's a Persian name. I was named by my grandmother after Queen Vashti in the Bible, in the book of Esther. It means best, it means beautiful, it means beautiful woman. So that's what my name means. The next question, it comes from Shelly Ann, and this one is from Facebook, and Shelly Ann wants to know, what are some products that you use in your hair? I think I've done a few videos with my favorite deep conditioners. I think I did a video last week with my favorite natural hair product. There are a few products that I have been using. For example, the Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie. That was like one of the first products that I fell in love with. My husband actually bought that product for me when I went natural all the way back in 2009, and so that's one of the products I still use today. I always try to make sure that I have a good moisturizer, a good deep conditioner. Deep conditioners are like my favorite category of products. I love deep conditioners. A lot of the times my moisturizers kind of double as stylers. I'm going to leave a link in the description box to previous videos or posts where I talk about some of my favorite products. Ellen wants to know, what natural hair products do you use and how do you maintain your hair? Okay, so Ellen and Shelly Ann pretty much had the same question. In terms of maintenance, I just try to make sure that my hair is moisturized. I always deep condition as when I wash my hair. I keep my hair in twists most of the time, especially now that it's cold outside. And I have an entire video, Ellen, of my hair regimen, so I'm going to leave that link in the description box as well so that you can check it out, and it goes through my entire wash day routine and how I moisturize my hair and all of that. So I'll leave that for you in the description box. The next question is, what is your favorite body product? From Renisha. Hey Renisha. Renisha is one of my the people who has been with me for a very long time. So hey girl, thanks for your question. Lately, I've been loving product from Shay Shay Bakery, which is a small business. And one of the things that I love about their stuff is the packaging is just so awesome. Like, they make body butters and scrubs and those types of things, but they make the packaging so that it looks like cookies and cakes and candies. So I've really been loving their body butters. I have one that is it's like a sugar cookie, and it smells like sugar cookie, and the top of it is, I'm gonna see if I can insert a picture when I'm editing this video, but I really like their products. Anything that's like really moisturizing, especially now that it's really cold outside and I want to make sure that I keep my skin as moisturized as possible. So Ariel wants to know, hey girl, hey Ariel, she wants to know, how do you maintain fitness? You're snatched, okay? I actually laughed when I saw this question because, girl, I am not snatched, or I am not as snatched as I could be. To be quite honest, I need to make sure that I get back on my fitness routine. I used to go to yoga a lot. I really like yoga. I used to go to power yoga, and it was a lot of fun. I do try to get a lot of walking in as much as possible. A lot of it is genetic. I have always been very slender, very skinny. For the most part, you know, I try to maintain like as balanced a diet as I can. I do make sure that every day I have a smoothie for breakfast. My smoothie is usually lots of spinach. I usually do mixed berries like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, a little bit of banana just for a little sweetness. I don't add any extra sugar or anything to my smoothie, with some almond milk, and then I usually add like flax seeds or chia seeds or those types of things. So I know that probably contributes to my fitness, if you can call it that. Another thing about me is that I have a really high metabolic rate, so I am that friend who is always hungry, yet I'm also that friend who also has a doggy bag because I can never finish my entire meal. So I eat pretty often. I eat lots of small portions throughout the day, and I know that has always just been the way I am. When I was younger, I was the picky eater. That was me. So that's pretty much what my eating habits are. So Mickey Gill from Instagram wants to know, how was life in Grenada? How long have you lived in Texas? What made you move, and how often do you go back? Okay, All right, so let's take it one at a time. Yes, I am from Grenada. In a lot of my videos I get asked if I'm from Trinidad or St. Lucia or Guyana or one of the other islands, but no, I am from the island of Grenada. Grenada is a really small island, and if you've been with me for a while, I have done, I think, about 3 vlogs when I've gone home, kind of showing the island and all of that. So I can link those below if you're interested in watching them. She wants to know, how was life in Grenada? Life in Grenada is good. Grenada is a very small island, so obviously, you know, take that into consideration. It is tiny. Our population is less than 100,000 people, and the island is pretty small. It is always sunny. It's very tropical. My reason for moving here was for school, and so I have lived in Texas since 2000, I think. Yeah, so this year I think it's going to be 16 years. Well, I haven't spent all 16, or the longest stretch I have been here since I've been married, and that's going on almost 9 years. But so that's how, like, the longest stretch that I've lived in Texas. I hope that answers your question. And usually we get to go home every few years. It just depends, but if we don't go, then we get to see our family, because sometimes they will come visit us as well. The next question comes from my friend Markeisha. Always Mark. Hey Markeisha, I love Markeisha. She's just like so sweet and so supportive. She said, how did you get started? You're so amazing. Thank you, girl. So I'm guessing she's talking about blogging. So I also have another question from Terry Ann, who's asked, what inspired you to start blogging on YouTube, and how do you come up with organic content? So I'm just going to answer those two together because they go together. So in 2011, I had been natural for about 2 years at that time, and a lot of my friends, they had seen me go from like TWA to like a full head of hair, and to be doing a lot of hairstyles and just, you know, experimenting with my natural hair. And a lot of people kept asking me, you know, what was I doing? How did I do this? How did I do that? And so I started, that was my reason for starting to blog. I started doing YouTube. YouTube was a lot more scary for me because it's on camera and people are seeing you. You know, it's easy to write on a blog, but to come in front of a camera and make a video, it's still very different. And the reason why I did them is because I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I wanted to kind of step out of my comfort zone. I remember, now that I look back on it and I think of how far I've come, it's just kind of how amazing how God has a sense of humor, because I always said that I wanted to step out of my comfort zone, and boy did he take me seriously and kind of pushed me in a way that really would cause me to step out of my comfort zone. But anyway, so yeah, that's how I got started. I just decided one day I was just gonna do it. So Terry, I wanted to know, how do I come up with organic content? There are lots and lots of ways that you can come up with organic content. You know, a lot of it will come from people asking certain questions. So if somebody would ask a particular question, like, hey, how do you do XYZ? Like, that would be an idea for a post or a video. So questions, just think of the things that people would ask you normally, like the things that people always ask. And I remember for a long time, there are some videos that I didn't want to make because I thought it was just so basic, meaning like I didn't think anybody would want to watch it, but people would keep asking the questions over and over. And so I decided that I was going to make a video about it, and they turned out to be some of my most popular videos and posts. And so that's like one of the ways that you can come up with content. Also, social media is a good place to get inspiration. Like if you're browsing and or something that's related to your niche, and you might see something and it might just pop you like, hey, you know, I can do a post about this. If you see people asking a certain type of question over and over and over, you can make a post about that relevant to your niche. Also, you can come up with organic content by just kind of sharing your experiences, you know, sharing. For example, last year I did a few posts about, like, I wrote a Dear Me, a letter to my younger self. I recently did a post about 5 ways to be more productive. I remember somebody had asked me, how do I manage all the things that I do? So that was just one idea. So a lot of times people would ask questions, and you can find from sometimes 3 or 4 spin-off content ideas from that one question. So don't overthink it too much. Just kind of think of what people always ask you about, things that you see other people asking about that you could write about, or you know, inspiration from like magazines or like from TV or from like other blogs that you've read. Of course, don't copy, but you can put your own spin on something, and if you have a unique point of view, that's content right there. Also, like in Facebook groups, or just things that that you see people always ask, you can create content about that. I hope that answers your question without making the answer too long. So the next question comes from Virtuous Virgo. It says, how long did it take you to create and launch your brand Ven and Rose? Oh, okay. So for those of you who may not know, if you're watching this video for the very first time or you don't know what Ven and Rose is, Ven and Rose is my apparel brand, and this is one of my t-shirts. It's been something that I wanted to do a long time, but I didn't really put a lot of thought into it until, say, early like April of last year, 2015. And I kind of procrastinated on it for a little bit because, you know, I did a whole video about that, but I procrastinated on it for a little bit. But then once I decided to really take action, it honestly did not take me very long. All I had to do was create the designs, have the designs created, put them on the t-shirt, and set up my store. So having the designs done, probably that took a few days, and then setting up the shop. Like, from the time I decided that I was really going to do it to the time that I announced it, probably took me maybe about a month or so just to kind of get everything sorted out and figure out which platform I was going to use and all of that. So it honestly did not take me very long. If you'd like me to expand on that, just let me know and I'll be happy to. So my friend, MJ, hey MJ is a really good friend of mine, and she wants to know what motivates you to keep going. If there's ever a time when, and it happens, that I get, you know, I feel like unmotivated, I feel like quitting, I feel like not continuing something that I started, I always try to go back to the reason why I started doing that thing. And if the reason why I started doing it is something that I still want to achieve, if it's something that I still want to pursue, then that really helps me to get back focused, to help me to be motivated. For example, I started blogging because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, right? And so at times when, you know, I want to quit, because blogging is it's a hard job, especially if it's something that you're doing as an income generating activity. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and sometimes you don't always get the results you're expecting, or, you know, it may take longer than expected. So sometimes, you know, it's human nature. You may want to quit, you may want to say, you know what, forget this, I'm not doing this. But I always try to go back to my why. And what I realized also is that sometimes when you feel unmotivated, and I know I have experienced this, when you feel unmotivated or you feel like you want to quit, sometimes it just means that it's time for you to pivot. Maybe it doesn't mean that you need to stop doing that thing, but it just means that you need to pivot and go in a different direction. Like the season of doing that particular thing, that particular way is over, and you need to pivot and kind of start doing something else. Hope that makes sense. Also, another thing that helps to keep me motivated is to have a tribe. I have a strong tribe of women, of people who would motivate me to keep, you know, when I say, you know, like, girl, I just want to quit, they will be like, no, you will do no such thing, and you will do XYZ. Quitting is easy, you know, quitting is easy. When you have to keep going, that's hard. Like, quitting is easy because you can just say, you know what, forget it, I'm just gonna quit, I'm just not gonna do this anymore. I think it's important to surround yourself with people who get you, who understand your why, who are there. They're gonna be rooting you on, they're gonna hold you accountable, they're gonna give you a swift kick in the butt when you need to get one, lovingly. You know, they're gonna tell you the truth when you're not living up to your potential, or you're not doing what they know that you can do. When sometimes I just don't know what to do, I just need direction, I just take time off and I just pray, and I'm like, Lord, just kind of show me what you want me to do. What direction do you want me to go in next? Like, what do you want me to do next? So those are some of the ways that I stay motivated. I hope that. Okay, so I think I got all of the questions. The very last question comes from Virtuous Virgos again. They had two questions. It says, what do you do to strengthen your faith? Me, my faith is more about having a personal relationship with Christ, and knowing that I can talk to him and taking the opportunity to do so, because sometimes, you know, you want a particular thing but you never ask for it. And so what I do to strengthen my faith is to put it in action, honestly. Like, it helps to, it's like a muscle, and if you don't exercise it, then it doesn't get any stronger. And something as simple as spending time in prayer is something that's really, really important to me, and it's part of like my self-care routine, but it's an important part of strengthening my faith and staying connected to the source, and to staying connected to God. And because I know without him I can't do anything. Like, you know, you have no idea, like, when I look at my life and all the things that I have accomplished, and I know that I could have never done any of this without God. So I just try to make sure that I remember where my source is, and always stay plugged into him. Honestly, those are all the questions. So thank you so much everyone who submitted questions. This was fun. So I thank you so much for watching as usual. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you have not subscribed as yet, I would love for you to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.